Yo Gotti's world just flipped upside down. GloRilla just confirmed a secret that fans had only whispered about. And the fallout is already spiraling. From hidden affairs to public humiliation, nothing about this story is simple. And it's about to get even messier. Stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's break it all down. GloRilla's rise to fame didn't just happen overnight. It was fueled by raw talent, street anthems, and the backing of someone who already had the keys to the industry, Yo Gotti. When Gotti signed her to his CMG label in 2022, it was a move that shocked some but made perfect sense to others. She had the energy, the voice, and the hunger to take Memphis rap to a new level, and Gotti saw that spark early. Their relationship, at least publicly, was framed as strictly business. Mentor and protege, label boss and breakout star. But fans always speculated there was more going on. The chemistry was undeniable every time they shared a stage, and their interactions often blurred the lines between personal and professional. Gotti showered her with praise during interviews, proudly claiming her as the future of his empire, while GloRilla never held back on how much his support meant to her career. Still, in an industry built on image, power, and money, rumors of closeness almost always follow. Industry insiders whispered about late-night studio sessions, exclusive parties, and trips where the lines between business and personal life might not have been so clear. Blogs fed the speculation, pointing out every laugh, every look, every hint of chemistry that seemed to surface in public appearances. And even though neither of them ever confirmed anything beyond the label relationship, the internet did what it always does, built its own narrative. Some fans cheered on the possibility of romance, while others questioned if this was another example of a young female artist caught in the orbit of a powerful label head. It created a cloud of speculation that hung over their partnership, and as GloRilla's fame exploded, that cloud only grew darker. But this was just the beginning of a story that would twist far beyond music. The rumors became reality when GloRilla finally spoke out, and the way she dropped the confirmation left everyone stunned. It wasn't a quiet reveal in an interview or a slip-up caught by paparazzi. It came straight from her own words, bold and unapologetic. Whether she meant to stir the pot or simply clear the air, the message was loud. She had a new boo, and the whispers about her connection with Yo Gotti weren't just made-up fan fiction. The reaction online was instant and explosive. Social media lit up with screenshots, memes, and hot takes. Some fans rushed to defend her, saying she had every right to move on with her personal life, while others accused her of playing games and using the story for clout. Blogs and hip-hop outlets jumped on it, blasting headlines that painted her as the spark in a messy love triangle. What made it hit harder was the timing. GloRilla's career is still in overdrive, and the last thing people expected was a scandal that mixed business with intimacy. Her words also carried an edge, almost like a challenge to the doubters. It wasn't framed as a regret or an accident. She owned it, which only fueled more speculation about how deep things went behind the scenes. Did this mean she and Yo Gotti really had history? Or was it all smoke and mirrors to push her own image into the spotlight? Either way, her confirmation forced everyone to rethink the dynamic between the two. The artist-label relationship that once looked like a perfect match for success was now under a magnifying glass, and the lines between professional respect and personal involvement had officially blurred. But as wild as GloRilla's reveal was, the real shock came from Yo Gotti's reaction. Yo Gotti built his career on being calculated, confident, and always in control. But when GloRilla's reveal hit the internet, his composure seemed to crack. Instead of brushing it off or pretending it didn't exist, he responded in a way that made fans believe he was genuinely shaken. His social media turned into a battlefield of cryptic posts, vague quotes about loyalty, trust, and betrayal. To the outside world, they looked like nothing more than motivational captions. But to anyone following the drama, they read like a man silently breaking down. His usual swagger felt replaced with frustration, and the timing was too perfect to ignore. The breakdown wasn't just emotional either. It carried heavy weight for his image. Gotti isn't just an artist. He's a mogul who runs one of the most respected labels in hip-hop. Any hint of personal scandal could spill into business, and that's exactly what people began to question. Could the drama with GloRilla threaten the empire he's built with CMG? Some fans even suggested that Gotti's silence in interviews and refusal to directly address the rumors proved he was struggling to process it all. Others felt his indirect approach was worse than denial. It made it seem like the accusations were real. The memes were relentless, painting him as a man caught off guard by someone he thought he could control, while GloRilla emerged as the one holding the cards. For an artist who prided himself on keeping his personal and business life separate, this was unfamiliar territory. And just when people thought he couldn't take a bigger hit, Simmons, his high-profile partner, stepped into the spotlight and made the situation 10 times messier. Simmons has never been the type to stay quiet when the spotlight finds her, and this situation with Gotti was no different. As the drama between him and GloRilla spiraled online, Angela turned the narrative on its head by stepping in with her own brand of shade. Instead of defending Gotti or brushing the rumors off, she leaned into the mess, posting sly comments and making moves that had fans convinced she was outright clowning him. From cryptic captions to subtle likes on social media, Angela's energy was unmistakable. She wasn't hurt. She wasn't ignoring it. She was laughing. And that laughter stung. For context, Simmons and Gotti's relationship had already been under a microscope since the moment they went public. Gotti famously rapped about his crush on her years before they linked up, which made their eventual union look like a fairy tale come true. Fans rooted for them, seeing it as the ultimate dream girl finally meets the guy who never gave up. But that picture-perfect story began to crumble when GloRilla's reveal hit. Angela's decision to clown Gotti instead of showing support sent a loud message. She wasn't standing behind him on this one. The public ate it up. Some praised her for flipping the script and not letting herself look like the one being played, while others said she was using the scandal to boost her own name. Either way, her reaction poured gasoline on a fire that was already burning fast. By making light of the situation, Angela positioned herself as the one with the upper hand, a woman who refused to look like a victim. But her mockery also raised deeper questions. Was this just pettiness? Or did she know more about Gotti and GloRilla than the public realized? The deeper this drama unfolded, the more it became clear that surface-level rumors weren't enough to explain it. Behind the headlines and Instagram posts, there were whispers of hidden motives and power plays that made the entire situation look more like a calculated chess match than a random scandal. Some insiders claimed GloRilla's reveal wasn't just about her personal life, but a way to shift power dynamics inside CMG. As one of the label's brightest stars, confirming an affair, real or exaggerated, instantly put her in the center of attention and made her the name everyone was talking about. For a rising artist, controversy can be rocket fuel, and many fans speculated she knew exactly what she was doing. Others argued that Gotti himself might not have been entirely innocent, hinting at a history of blurred lines between professional relationships and personal involvement. That narrative played into the idea of Gotti as a mogul whose empire wasn't as untouchable as it seemed, making him look vulnerable at a time when he wanted to appear untouchable. And then there was Simmons. Her mocking tone didn't just feel like a reaction. It almost came across as confirmation that she knew something deeper. By clowning Gotti publicly, she may have been signaling that this wasn't just gossip, but a truth she'd already made peace with. Theories spread fast. Was Angela taking revenge? Was GloRilla leveraging her moment? Or was this all a media spectacle designed to keep CMG in constant conversation? No matter which version fans believed, the speculation added layers of intrigue and made it impossible to separate fact from strategy. But while motives remained unclear, one thing was certain: the fallout was about to reshape every relationship tied to the story. As the dust started to settle, the fallout from this messy triangle began to take shape, and the consequences were bigger than just gossip blogs. For Gotti, the scandal threatened to dent the spotless image he built over decades. He wasn't just another rapper caught in relationship drama. He was a businessman, a label head, and the face of CMG. Every cryptic post and every meme turned into questions about whether he could keep personal issues from spilling into business. Some fans wondered if his focus would shift, while others speculated whether artists on his label might feel the impact of his distraction. For GloRilla, the reveal pushed her even further into the spotlight. She was already one of the fastest rising names in hip-hop, but now, her personal life had become part of her brand, whether she liked it or not. The scandal gave her new attention and leverage, but it also created pressure. Would she be seen as a serious artist, or as the star who shook up her own label with controversy? Every move she makes now is under a magnifying glass, with people waiting to see if she doubles down on the boldness or tries to shift focus back to the music. And then there's Simmons. By clowning Gotti and refusing to look like the one left embarrassed, she positioned herself as someone who could flip the narrative in her favor. But that move could cut both ways. Fans either loved her confidence or questioned why she stayed around in the first place. The bigger picture is clear. This drama wasn't just about messy relationships. It was about power, image, and survival in the spotlight. And as everyone involved continues to move forward, this story is far from finished. At the end of it all, this saga wasn't just about a rumor or a fling. It was a collision of power, fame, and pride that left no one untouched. Gotti, once seen as the unshakable boss of CMG, suddenly looked vulnerable in a way fans weren't used to. GloRilla, the artist he helped elevate, stepped into the spotlight not just for her music, but for a revelation that blurred every line between personal life and business. And Simmons proved she wasn't about to play the role of a silent partner, flipping the script by mocking the man who once seemed to have it all. Together, their moves turned what could have been just another tabloid story into a cultural talking point, sparking debates about loyalty, ambition, and the price of mixing relationships with careers in the public eye. The truth behind what really happened may never be fully revealed, but one thing is clear: this wasn't the end. The seeds of this scandal have already reshaped how fans view each of them, and the next chapter could be even more explosive.